All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome. The reason we're here today is big news. Of course, you kind of have a clue to what it's all about. I'm Randy Dameron with the Department of Transportation, and we have folks here today that's going to give you explanation and details on the Hal Greer Boulevard Rehabilitation Program. My pleasure to introduce to you the Secretary of the West Virginia Department of Transportation, Mr. Jimmy Wriston.
Thank you very much. It's great to be out here in Huntington today. We're going to announce a wonderful project today, a wonderful project. This one's comprehensive. It has all the bells and whistles, pedestrian bike paths, new lighting, landscaping, you name it, this project's got it. And it's been a long time coming, and once we get it finished, I hope every one of you gets a chance to come up and look at some of these boards. This is going to be a shining spot in the city of Huntington once we're finished here. So I'll give you a few little details on what you can expect, and what I think the timeline for the project is our contractor will be getting their field office on the ground over here next month, early in January. You'll start to see some highway signage out here on the roadways in January. Building demolition, that'll start probably early in February. So, and then you'll start to see some major active road work in the spring, in March. So I think that pretty well gives you an idea over the next 3 months what you can expect to see from our wonderful contractors out here on this job. There's a lot of folks was involved in this project, a lot of folks. The City of Huntington, the Cuyahoga MPO, the governor, the Division of Highways, obviously. But we've worked for quite a while on this project, and take a lot of hands to get it to where it is. This one's going to be a really bright star for the city. This one's really going to be good. So I'm going to turn this over to our great 36th governor of the state of West Virginia, Governor Jim Justice.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And I know we've got Senator Plimal, we've got Delegate Hornbuckle. I don't know what, I'm sure we've got city council members and lots and lots of important people here. I know you've got our great mayor right here. And I thank our secretary, and I thank all of you. Now let's just step back and just think just a second about this. This used to be what I would always refer to, and I guess it still is, 16th Street, but right behind that, Hal Greer Boulevard. I go back a long ways. You see, I remember the great football games right over here behind us, and literally, how long have we driven in to this great university in this incredible city, and we surely need a facelift. And in a lot of ways, it will make us so much better. Now, a lot of situations, really and truly, are just folks, having a tough way to go and a tough time. And we want to help. We want to try to help in any way and every way we can to perpetuate their life and bring more and more goodness to them, but bring an absolute more and more goodness and the spotlight on this great city and our great university and lots of other goodness. Now, with that being said, I got to tell you this too. I've always got a story, but right behind it, not very far at all, there was a lady that lived back there, not a great big house and everything, and she was in the dog business and everything. And she kept my bird dog for years. And she charged me $1 a day. $1 a day to feed her and keep her and everything. And then when I could some way play hooky from class or whatever like that, I went and got the bird dog and went grouse hunting. And so there's so many memories to this area, and we want just more and more goodness, do we not? So today, I'm getting to announce these things, which is really fun, because, you just think, yesterday we announced another gigantic company coming to West Virginia. It's just happening on and on and on. So if we can just not blow our blooming legs off and we can just continue to perpetuate the goodness that's happening all around us, we got it going on right now. And we don't want to get in our own way. But today, I am proudly announcing that I have approved the award of $13,551,000 on a contract to Trident Construction, a West Virginia company, for a massive renovation project on Hal Greer Boulevard, 16th Street, as some of us older people know, all the way from Washington Avenue to 3rd Avenue in Huntington. It's really great. Great stuff. So I guess, I could talk and talk and talk, but I'm gonna turn it over to the great mayor. And Steve, if you'd come and tell us all kinds of good stuff. You go over there.
I'll go here and then you can chime in and we can just have a little bit of a sing-along here. Thank you, Governor. This is one more indication of the partnership that we have with this administration. Mr. Secretary, I have to tell you, whenever we're working with highways, the Department of Transportation, I want to brag about how much we are able to partner, but they keep telling me don't brag too terribly much because everybody's going to be wondering, well, why aren't we getting this type of attention? Frankly, what I've observed from other mayors, that type of attention is going on all over the state, but we certainly are excited about what we've been able to do in the 10 years that I've been mayor now. This redesign of Hal Greer Boulevard has been 10 plus years in the design process. Governor, when I first became mayor, there was a lady that was crossing the street at Cabell Huntington Hospital, and then someone was coming, it was in the evening, someone came in and hit her and killed her. At that time, and it just shows how long it takes for us to be able to get these things together, some of us came up and met with then Governor Tomlin about that we need some help to be able to do something. Now, it's taken 10 years. In the last 2 or 3 years, things have escalated. And it hasn't been just plans upon plans. Governor, when your folks step in, the pedal hits the metal, and then we find ways to be able to move forward. So this is helping us do so many different things. First and foremost, it's giving us the opportunity to make sure that this area between 3rd Avenue all the way to Washington Boulevard is pedestrian safe. That we have the ability for individuals to be able to travel up and down by foot or also by bicycle, but also to be able to meld in with the traffic. This is a major thoroughfare coming into our city, right in the middle of a neighborhood. Children crossing over from Hal Greer Boulevard on the east side, crossing over to come here to be able to play in this facility. We need to do what we can to be able to make this safe. The details the press will be able to get into, but what we have been able to have, once again, the partnership with your administration, Governor, but we have had so many different groups that have been active in the design of this. Untold number of public meetings that we had right in here for individuals to come through saying, having a voice as to how this was going to be designed. Some of those important partners are certainly the residents of Fairfield, the Fairfield Alliance. Governor, the Fairfield Alliance was something that we created just to make sure that the residents were able to sit with the business partners and the institution partners so that the president of Marshall could be sitting right next to the lady that lives on the corner. That the preacher can sit right next to the CEO of Cabell Huntington Hospital, now Mountain Health as well. That's the Fairfield Alliance. As a result of our America's Best Communities winnings that we have, we created the Fairfield Community Development Corporation. They've been so active. The A.D. Lewis Community Center Cabell Huntington Hospital and the Mountain Health Network, Marshall University naturally, Mountain Health, Thundercloud. We've got Senator Plummer here, and he'll be able to give us a lot of detail about what Thundercloud that you helped fund immeasurably just a few years ago, the Huntington Housing Authority. But most importantly, this is a business corridor. Governor, what I'm excited about is in 5 years, it's not going to be 5 years of construction on the street, but with all of the business development that is planned on Hal Greer Boulevard, 5 years, anybody who's coming through here right now, and then they 5 years from now come down through Hal Greer Boulevard, going to the hospital, on down to Marshall University to go to football games, basketball games, whatever, they will not recognize Hal Greer Boulevard within 5 years. It will be absolutely transformative. And frankly, that has everything to say about what we're doing in Huntington. 5 to 7 years right now our city looks much different than it did 10 years ago. You remember what it was like 50 years ago, 40 years ago, when, and frankly, this was a busy beehive, and all of a sudden things shut down. The signs on the doors of our businesses are open for business right now. Big neon lights. We're making sure that folks know that when they come in to the Ohio River Valley, Mr. Secretary, and they look at Huntington, West Virginia, this is the bright, brilliant, shining light between Pittsburgh and Cincinnati and Louisville. And we're doing this because of the partnership that we have with you, Governor. You're forward thinking. We're looking at the next 50 years, and we're proud to be able to be participating with you. This project is also providing us the ability, the City of Huntington and Thundercloud, where we're laying fiber or preparing for fiber to be laid into this area so that we can lift up and have high-speed broadband throughout the area. This is much more than just a highway. This is an artery into our community that lifts us up and makes sure that we're healthy and that we are being in such a way aggressive in how that we're able to not just keep up, but stay ahead of the competition. Governor, thank you so very much.
Come up. While the senator's coming up and everything, please, Senator. Let me just say just this. Let's just think about the words of the mayor, and just think about this incredible artery that is tremendously important to the university and tremendously important to the city. Think about just what he said, you know, along this artery, we've got kids playing, we've got families living, we've got kids and families growing up and everything else. And in all honesty, this and the things that have not even been mentioned are, you know, the sidewalks and the bicycle areas and all that's a part of all this. You know, it is absolutely now just think about it. You've got to stay with me just 1 second. I will promise you on the day that I walked in the door, the very thing that everybody looks at to come to a state, the first thing they always say is, how's your schools? Guarantee it. Always, how's your schools? Because they want their people to absolutely have the chance to have their kids in the best schools, the safest schools, and on and on and on. And we're making all kinds of headway on that. Now, we still got ways to go, but literally and truly, there's a lot of good stuff going on in the schools. And the second thing they always look at in a standard of life is, how are your roads? How are your roads? And literally, if in all honesty, you've got unsafe conditions, you've got potholes that you can't even get to the convenience store or whatever it may be, you have a real turnoff for people to come. You know, we want more and more goodness for those little kids that are playing out too close to the road that they could get hurt. We want more and more goodness for kids to have an opportunity in our schools, and we want more and more and more goodness to bring economic development to the area that gives us all opportunities. We want to see people riding bicycles, don't we? Don't we want to see people walking on the sidewalks and being safe? Don't we want to see just goodness and beauty all around us? And don't we deserve that? That's the bottom line to the whole thing. Senator, talk to us about Thunderclap.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Governor. Thank you for your vision on this. But what I also want to say is, if you look at this and you look at the plans that are done here, this is just the glimpse of what the future brings for Huntington. One of the things that it started with was a road safety audit. I was on the road safety audit for Hal Greer. I'm on the road safety audit with the 3rd and 5th Avenue. These are the kind of things and the kind of changes that happen with proper planning. And I have to give the DOT a lot of credit for what they've done and how this has happened. And I've seen it by being on the planning groups. But we came to the governor a few years ago with a plan on Thundercloud. And the Thundercloud, you need to know, is a anchor institution model that has Marshall Health, Marshall University, Mountain Health, the Appalachian Transportation Institute Foundation, and Alpha Technology as a private sector partner that had to agree to an open access model. And what we've done here is also a policy that the governor has promoted is the dig once policy. And the fact that you do not have to pay for the right-of-way, it's the right-of-way to the state, and he allows fiber to be laid along the right-of-way of the state, not at any cost. I know that's a little tough sometimes, but it is really good for the state of West Virginia. You have the first dig once policy on Hal Greer. This is where the DOT comes to Thundercloud and they said, we're getting ready to do this, and we had plans to dig here and put this in. So we came up with an agreement and we paid the $177,000 to be able to make this work as our portion of what it would cost us to do it. So while they do it, we only dig once. They only do it one time. It saves a lot of money, and it's a very, very collaborative way to do this. This will be able to provide speeds 1,000 times faster than what you're experiencing now. Thank you, Governor, for your vision and your ability to see the future.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Are we done? I don't have baby dog with me, so don't get on me about that, you know. And but listen, I couldn't be happier, really and truly. This is an incredible city, incredible peoples, and literally, you don't know, but from my standpoint, you have shaped my life in so many ways, and I'm very, very grateful, and I mean that. So it's your fault that I'm here. If you don't like me, you don't. But nevertheless, I
We'll
love
help
it.
take blame.
All right, thank y'all so much.